future. Today, we enter the mind of Steve Jobs, the visionary who changed how the world thinks about technology, design, and innovation. Steve Jobs didn't invent the computer. He didn't invent the phone. So what exactly did he invent? His unusual talent was seeing connections other people treated as separate. For Jobs, technology was never the final product. The experience was. But the ability to see that future had a beginning. And it started long before Apple existed. In 1955, a child entered the world who would later become obsessed with one question: what makes a person who they are? He was adopted by Paul and Clara Jobs. Later, he would describe himself not as abandoned, but as chosen. His father taught him a lesson that sounded simple. Craftsmanship mattered even when nobody could see it. Years later, that principle would become one of his most demanding habits. Perfection, where the customer would never even look. The conventional path never held his attention for very long. Then he became fascinated by something most people would consider useless: calligraphy. At the time, the connection was invisible. Years later, it would help make computers feel less like machines. He was collecting pieces without knowing what the finished picture would be. Steve Wozniak had a different obsession. He loved making machines do things they were never supposed to do.
This chip handles the video processing. It's twice as fast as anything on the market.
And the power draw?
Minimal. We cracked it.
This changes everything.
When Jobs met him, he saw something beyond the circuitry. A doorway into a completely different kind of computer. Wozniak wanted to build the machine. Jobs wanted to decide what the machine could mean. The machine was tiny. The opportunity was enormous. And soon, the two men would discover that building it was only the beginning. The turning point came when Jobs stopped seeing the computer as a hobby project and started seeing it as a product. That distinction would matter enormously. A circuit could work perfectly and still fail as a product. Jobs was already thinking beyond the machine. He was watching the person using it. They were no longer asking whether they could build a computer. They were about to find out whether the world would want one.
This line right here.
Jobs could look at 99 things that worked and
It's
become
off by
obsessed
half a
with the one
millimeter.
thing that didn't. For him, a computer wasn't finished when it worked. It was finished when every part of the experience felt deliberate.
We need these components for it to function. There is no room to move them. The design must remain clean and intuitive.
The same intensity that pushed people toward greatness could also make collaboration painfully difficult. And eventually, the company had to confront a difficult question. Was the vision worth the damage it was causing? The company he helped create was growing, but inside it, his power was shrinking. Then came the moment he never expected. He found himself pushed outside the company he had helped build. For the first time in years, there was no team waiting for his next decision. But losing Apple also gave him something he hadn't had in years: freedom. He didn't spend his exile trying to become less intense. He built again. And somewhere else, another experiment was quietly becoming something much bigger than anyone expected. This was the deeper pattern in Jobs' career. He kept crossing boundaries between technology and the human stories built on top of it. Then it proved that his instincts weren't limited to computers. They could change entertainment too. When Jobs returned, the problem wasn't a lack of ideas. It was having far too many of them. His first major move wasn't creating something new. It was deciding what had to disappear.
This hinge still feels a bit too rigid. We need to make the entire frame feel completely seamless.
And this time, Jobs had a crucial advantage. People around him who could turn his impossible standards into physical design. The comeback would not begin with 100 new products. It would begin with one clear idea of what a computer should feel like. His most lasting insight wasn't about circuits. It was about people. The strange pieces of his life finally fit together. Craftsmanship, art, technology, rebellion, and an almost unreasonable belief in possibility. So, perhaps Steve Jobs didn't invent the future. He taught people to expect more from it.